Yeah, so a few years ago I initiated Martin's Law, a campaign to bring security in at public venues, and that is at the moment being sort of going through parliamentary processes. Um, Obviously, it'll hopefully be legislation one day soon.
Absolutely. And why do you feel that Martin's Law and the Protect Duty, as it will hopefully become, are necessary?
Yeah. Well, simply because the face of terrorism has changed completely since 2014, I think, when lone actors kind of started emerging more and more. And obviously, terrorists use simpler, more simplified methods like vehicles, knives, machetes, anything like that, simple kitchen knives even. So we need to be better prepared, and actually legislation for security is not in existence at all. It's only a recommendation at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the initial response like when you first started the Martin's Law campaign?
Yeah.
And how has this evolved over the last few years?
Yeah, I mean, at the very beginning, I was doing it on my own before Brendan Cox and Nick Aldworth came on board. And one of the main criticisms I had was people were scared about how much it's going to cost. But actually, you know, when people really put some thought into it, it could even in some cases be cost effective, cost saving, if the measures are put in proportionately and sensibly. But in addition to that, I feel that there are ways around recouping some of the money for security. For instance, adding maybe a security levy of 50 pence to ticket prices. Simple methods like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's been your experience like over the last few years? Obviously, it's
Yeah.
been an ongoing campaign now of working with
Yeah.
the security industry in particular on this one.
Yes, so Brendan sat Nick, myself and someone else in front of the then security minister, Brandon Lewis, and we had a really good conversation, and that kind of started the ball rolling. Since then, the security minister and his department, they've been in regular contact with us. We've had regular meetings, Teams calls, so we have regular updates. And the whole thing is progressing nicely. We had the public consultation as well, which was tremendously supported by the security sector, so it's all good.
Yeah, and it was announced in the Queen's speech, I believe.
That's
earlier,
right, yes.
Last week, was it? Is that right? What does that mean for you to see
For
it
me,
become real?
I know there are still more processes to go through until the legislation becomes an actual law, but being mentioned in the Queen's speech, for me personally, it's a giant step forward in the right direction.
Of course.
Definitely.
And just a final question. I'm obviously aware that you've got a master's degree now in counter-terrorism from
Yes.
the University of Central Lancashire, is that right?
Yeah.
What did you learn throughout that course from someone maybe who wasn't in the industry beforehand, and why did you feel it was important for you to take it?
Yeah, so before Martin died, I used to watch terrorist attacks on television and thought, oh my goodness, those poor people, isn't it terrible what happens in the world, not realizing that actually it can affect me one day. That's how naive I was in those days. I was a layperson completely. And since it happened, I suddenly realized I know nothing about terrorism. I had so many questions about why it's happening, how did it start, who are these people, what do they want, what are governments doing about it, what's the UK doing about it. And I had the opportunity to take this course, and I have had all my questions answered and beyond. And obviously my learning will now never stop.